Well, good evening and thanks for joining us here. We begin tonight with a warning for drivers making the daily commute between Aransas Pass and Rockport along Business 35. It's a trouble spot at a railroad crossing that's causing a jarring experience, literally, for those traveling at highway speeds. Turns out it's more than just an inconvenience. In fact, a motorcyclist from Rockport is recovering from serious injuries tonight after a recent crash at that very crossing. So what's being done about it? Well, our Bill Churchwell has been looking into it, and he joins us now with what he found out. Bill?
And Mike, we went out to that spot to experience it for ourselves. While some cars easily went through, others expecting a smooth surface were forced to put on the brakes along the busy stretch of roadway, especially those on two wheels. A typical drive home along Business 35 to Rockport has been anything but a smooth ride for Briley Miller and his coworker Ryan Bowen.
You kind of get a pretty harsh dip down into the tracks.
This past Thursday, this bump in the road at the railroad crossing, much more than an inconvenience for Ryan.
He was on his motorcycle, I was in my truck behind him.
It landed him in the hospital.
Whenever he went over these railroad tracks that are behind us, it seems like his brakes locked up after the impact. Whenever he tried correcting, the bike fell over onto him and he sustained considerable injuries from it.
You can see the marks from his bike on the pavement, now recovering from broken bones, including a broken leg. He's not the only motorcyclist who has had a bad experience at this troubled spot. So has Tom Bailey.
I've had stuff come loose. I've had plastic parts break off. It's to the point now where I was trying to slow down at 30 miles an hour when I go through there, but if there's heavy traffic, you'll get run over doing so.
While there are crossing signs here, there are no reduced speed limit signs, so anyone going 50, 60 miles an hour over these train tracks, well, if they don't slow down, they're going to feel quite the jolt. The tracks are outside of the Aransas Pass city limits, so we took those concerns to Aransas County Judge Ray Garza, who says his hands are tied. The reason?
This stretch of road isn't the county's road. It is part of the DOT system. After you contacted me, we did make contact with the DOT. They're making contact with the railroad owner. 3 News also reached out to TxDOT. A spokesperson tells us that they are actively coordinating with railroad entities on this. Miller told us what he would like to see happen.
I would definitely start with posting some signage around saying, you know, there's a bump ahead, slow down.
And tonight I also spoke with DPS, who said drivers should exercise caution around railroad crossings, and that if there is an issue, to report it to local law enforcement and with the phone number that can be found on the crossing itself. Now, I searched for that number at the site, but for safety reasons, I wasn't able to get close enough to find it. There is a GoFundMe set up for that motorcyclist who was severely injured. We'll be sure to post that along with this story. Back to you.